Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 with another NBA video. In this one, I'm going to be previewing the Eastern Conference Finals between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the Heat, talk about the C's, and then give you my predictions at the end of the video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The Miami Heat are coming off a win in the conference semifinals in 6 games against the Philadelphia 76ers, opening up with 2 wins in a row on their home court. And then obviously the return of Joel Embiid sparked the 76ers back into action. But from there, in a pivotal Game 5, the Heat blew out the 76ers by 35 points and never looked like they were going to lose in Game 6 either. So I guess the key thing for the Heat was, and especially for Jimmy Butler, was proving that, he's the guy that can lead them deep into the playoffs. We did see it happen in the bubble, but a lot of people were doubting that due to the Mickey bubble kind of storylines that go around. And obviously, Jimmy Butler was amazing in this series, averaging 27.5 points, 5.5 assists, and 7.5 rebounds. Not shooting the 3-ball particularly great at 32% with 5 attempts per game, but shooting it at 51% from the field. So as efficient as always from there. Bam Adebayo was the second option in this series, and he was averaging 16.5 points and 7.5 rebounds. Tyler Herro stepped up from his first round series, averaging 14.7 points on better efficiency than he did in the first round, as I was alluding to, at 45% from the field and 37% from 3. Now, before I continue, as you saw the subscribe animation, I'd heavily appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It would help me a lot, and I want to make regular previews all the way until the NBA Finals, where I'll make that, and obviously that'll be the end of the season from there. And if you want to comment who you guys think will win, I'd appreciate it, and also like the video, and just also with the comments, I'll try and react or reply to all of your comments as well. So I enjoy reading them, so feel free to flood that too. So Max Strus was shooting the ball very well at 35% on 8 attempts, obviously a high volume guy. He had some really big games against the 76ers. Oladipo was, obviously trying to work his way back in after a long time on the sidelines. Obviously not playing too much with the Heat this season, so trying to really fit in, but it gave them a lot of defense. And PJ Tucker was another effort guy. I remember a play where he out-rebounded Joel Embiid and, got the offensive rebound over him. And it's just those kind of players that energize the team, and they will feed off of that kind of culture that Eric Spoelstra has created for them. So they're currently the 5th best offense out of all the teams that have played in the playoffs, and then defensively they're 2nd best in that, out of all the teams left, just behind the Milwaukee Bucks, who did lose to Boston. And just an injury update as well, Kyle Lowry missed Game 6, as you guys may know, with his hamstring injury. He was last evaluated on May 11th, but I expect that he will be making a return to the court and back obviously at some point during this series against the Celtics. But let's move on to the Boston side of the preview. So as you guys know, Boston just won in 7 games against the Milwaukee Bucks in a series where they were either down 1 or they went down 1-0, then they tied it 1-1, they went down 2-1, they tied it 2-2, they went down 3-2, they tied it 3-2, and then they managed to pull it out and win in 7 in a very up and down series as well, where Tatum had some games where he looked like he could be and could pass as being one of the best players in the league, and some games where he looked a bit iffy. But he himself was great overall, averaging 28 points, 5 assists, and 6.3 rebounds on 42% shooting from the field and 34% from 3 on 10 attempts per game. His sidekick, Jaylen Brown, averaged 22.5 points, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds, shooting the ball at 47% from the field and 44% from 3, so the more efficient of himself and Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart had some really big offensive games, and obviously provided them with a lot of effort on defense, which has obviously been realized when he won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, averaging 15 points, 5 assists, but shooting the 3-ball at 44% on around 5 attempts per game. Al Horford had a really, really good game in Game 4, getting 30 points and 8 rebounds. For the whole series himself, he was pretty good, averaging 14 points and also bringing in 10.5 boards. He was also a presence down low, getting just below 2 blocks per game. Now, guys like Derek White, Grant Williams, Daniel Tice, and Robert Williams are all important pieces of the rotation as well. Now, Time Lord, as some of you Boston fans call him, is if he, has had some issues with his knee, and the Celtics are looking to manage him, so I wouldn't expect him to play every game in this series. But again, he's another key part of their team, and also their defense as well. One that was elite towards the end of the season, seemingly out of nowhere. Currently, out of all the teams left in the playoffs, defensively they're fourth best rated in the league, and offensively they're kind of middle of the range out of all the teams that have played a series in the playoffs. Currently 8th, below the likes of the Warriors and even the Heat, who obviously are their opponents for this series. Now, when you look at the matchup, instantly you think of Giannis and who goes on Giannis, and that'll be Al Horford. I think Al Horford's more than capable of somewhat nullifying Giannis, but I think that the three-point shooting is a bit of a difference, as Boston haven't really been able to show that consistently. That's had some games where they've been able to really explode and stack in the threes, but they've had some games that have been pretty inconsistent as well. Now, for my predictions for the series. Now, I think this series will be very hotly contested, and it sparks, one of the great NBA rivalries of this century. Obviously, these teams did battle in the early 2010s, back when LeBron was in the Heat. I think Miami will get this in 6 games, as their defense will just be too much for Boston, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston won either. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to tell me who you think will win, and like and subscribe, and until next time, peace out. Thank you.